Mic test. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's time. Happy Friday. It's no noise time. I am Z Rex. It's the 17th of November, about 11 o'clock in the AM. Coming at you live. I guess, obviously, right? Hope y'all had an awesome week. Happy Friday. Most people get off for school and stuff next week and all that good stuff for the holidays. We will be doing streams next week as well. So we'll see y'all then and can say happy Turkey Day and all that stuff. Manana. Or manana, wait, next week. Whatever. Anyway, let's get right into it with the price action. Not really too much to talk about. So on Wednesday's video, we were wanting this to engulf all of this price action, which it actually did, to be fair. But look what happened the very next day. Just rejection. And it didn't engulf it, but it almost did. Not very sexy for Bitcoin. What the hell is this? After a candle like this, you would expect a little bit of follow through. So it's a little discerning for Mama Bear to just immediately be followed by a rejection type candle on the daily structure. So that's not super great for bulls. Let me look at and of course, this is shorter time frames. We're on the daily. So, obviously it's still horizontals at about 35K for the daily, and the weeklies all the way down at like 31,000 handle in general. But yeah, kind of just more indecision at the top here. And we are losing a little bit of momentum on the oscillators, most notably the RSI. But volatility is also a lot higher on Bitcoin. So the swings intraday are likely to be larger. Let's go over to futures. Yeah, futures obviously printing out that 38K level, and you can see our support line there. So we really are just kind of ranging up here, which is mostly to be expected as we first come and test 38K. After this candle, though, I was expecting a little bit more follow through by the bulls yesterday and or today, but just not getting it. Now, is it still holding 21? Yep, definitely is. Still holding structure right over this. The one thing that is not doing that, though, let's see, GBDC looks fine. Nothing really going on there, just kind of hovering. The one that did engulf it, though, is Ethereum. This kind of sucks. This one looks way worse because you have the body taking out both of these candles over here. So that's a little bit nasty. Possible rejection building up. losing this 1900 level, I think we could easily flash down $100 like pretty fast. A little disappointed in the bulls here after looking real sexy off these two candles on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just kind of the bears said, "Nah, bitch, you ain't got shit up here." So making the bulls really work for it, which is to be expected at this major resistance zone of 38,000 and about 2,000 uh, on Ethereum, on Unicorn Man. Same thing on futures. Still above the 21 though, still above all this structure. So it's not like uber bearish or anything, but it is a little bit concerning for the shorter term that maybe we are taking a little dippity doodah here coming up soon. Because a lot of stuff, yeah, like rejection here, getting a little follow through. We are about to do an open and close below the 21 EMA on Litecoin. So, Charlie, what the hell are you doing? Horizontal support, though, at about 69 handle. You already know what's up. So, it's not quite looking super. Obviously, it's not super bearish because the macro is still bullish, especially on Mama Bear. Not so much on the altcoins, but definitely on Mama Bear. Yeah, so a little disappointing but from the bulls, though, for sure, that they didn't get no follow through there. Rallied right up to resistance, just really struggling to get over it. This is going to be kind of the common theme. Nothing has really changed too much from Wednesday's video. Oh man, XRP all the way back down. Man, this is what is that? Off 20% off the highs. Now there should be really good support right here at this horizontal at about upper 50 handle. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, that should provide some real good support at the upper 50s, about 58 to be specific. Man, just couldn't get over this little cluster right here, though, at 70 cents. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's okay still above this horizontal, above 58-ish. We start losing 58, though, man. We just go back into this stupid range between like 40 and pretty much 58, and then yay, more ranging. So getting a little bit of pressure from the bears. And yeah, look at this. Also down about 10, 15% from its high. Still barely holding on. Still looks decent above about 11 and a half or so. So we're just getting a little bit of deep liquidation breaks so far. And again, the altcoins just haven't really made they haven't really done anything as far as macro structure. All their weeklies, for the most part, there are some outliers, like Tron's an outlier. And there's a few outliers. But for the most part, 80%, 90% of the shit coins are just in bad structure. Tron still looks good above about, the 9.5, 10 cent level. Let's see. DOT. Just kind of struggling here. I mean, this is going to be the same on almost every chart. You already know what it is. We can use pretty much all the same supports from Wednesday's video. So this one's going to be probably pretty fast because I don't really even see anything too crazy at all across the board. Pretty quiet day. Also, probably not super shocking either since we're going into a short week next week. Lots of people don't even trade next week and stuff too for holidays and things of that nature. So not too surprising that we're kind of just lollygagging here on a little Friday before the weekend for the long weekend for a lot of people. Yeah, but getting these deep liquidation breaks, some of them deeper than others. This one's just going to the 21 on Chainlink, but you can definitely see we are losing the momentum on the daily, starting to creep in. So bullish overall against all the structure and these longer term horizontals, but short term, maybe we do need a little bit of a breather here, which we've been kind of eyeballing and waiting for, pretty much this week. Now, I think the question is now: is this the kind of liquidation and stall before continuation, or is this just going to get turned into deep retrace and go back to some of these horizontal levels that we broke out from? And it looks like right now, the Bears are trying to get a little bit, getting a little bit testy here. Getting this to break down too. Next stop's probably about 212, 210, somewhere in there. Let's see here. EOS kind of just struggling like everything else. BSV. Let's see. We've got the vol flashes. Very, very just tight in the range here. 45 and about 50. So until it really gets out of 45 or 50, probably look for break of either way. Like on the upside, about 50, we probably go at least test on this swing high here. And man, on the low side, I mean, you got all this business, which should provide some good support around 42, because it's got to be at 42. But yeah, the Bears definitely making themselves a little bit known today. XMR struggling to get any Momo. This candle sucks. Like we were talking about Wednesday, this Monday candle is pretty garbage. And you could make a pretty good argument that until price gets back over about 165 and gets back up into this kind of upper part of this flag, that this is done until that gets resolved, because this is a pretty nasty candle right there. When you get one that engulfs like the previous, what is this? I don't know, 2 weeks or something, 2.5 weeks, something like that. It's not super great. And that we do have Ethereum. The Ethereum chart, this was the worst candle kind of out of all of them, because it's a major. With Bitcoin and Ethereum are pretty much the majors. And so this is a major kind of rejection of price action up here. So, and we're back below 2,000. So, and you can see losing that, we already pretty much immediately fell $100 instantly. So we'll see how this weekly can close. Let's see. Let's look at that real quick. If it could at least just be defending 1900, it's still very constructive longer term. All right, let's go to XMR. Wait, where we leave off? Zcash getting kind of back below 30, but really barely holding on to 29. Little break here too. So again, this is the same MO as most of the charts. Are the bulls going to defend the previous resistance zones and turn that into support? Or is this just a little hype cycle because ETF crap and we're rolling over is kind of the thing? But look at Doge, though. Doge is actually breaking out. So I do like this. I would really like to see Doge close above 8.2 today. That would be very bullish. Obvious resistance in the 8 handle in general is a tough one for it to get over. It's been up there a few times pretty much this year and gets rejected every single time. So far it is today too, just getting all the way up to 8.7 and already pushed back to the lower 8s. So this daily could close over here. That would be nice, because that would put in a higher high on the longer term structure. So that would be pretty cool. STX just kind of lollygagging. I mean, this is technically starting to make lower highs, and we do have one lower low here. Usually you want 3, so we're not quite there, but a little bit more pressure from the Bears. And, we're just back in this stupid range. We're just not really doing much here. True is actually doing a lot more than most of these other coins, kind of like Tron is. Looks very good above 4.5 pennies. This is one of the... I don't know if it's outlier is the right word, but it is definitely showing relative strength against some of these other shit coins. Most of them do not look like this. This has been bullish pretty much since the summer. So pretty nice on True Fi, and above 4.5 pennies. It is still nice. XRD. Whoa, I'm on the 3 hour. Get off of that. XRD selling off a little bit today, about 4%. It's kind of man, this is a funky little pattern. It's almost channel-esque. We kind of have a little bit of a channel. Let me see if we can draw that. Yeah, it's definitely a channel-esque for sure. Kind of a little weak sauce right here in the last few days on Wednesday, Thursday. Couldn't even get close up to here with the body at about 4.8 cents. So we still do have higher highs. Higher lows. We did not make a higher high though off this attempt here. See if bulls can actually make that happen over the weekend or early next week. Otherwise, these little rising channels can actually turn into continuation to the downside. That does happen a lot, especially off of this type of structure too. So this is barely kind of holding on. And I do have some of this one, but I will be very happy to let this go probably below about 4.2. I just wanted to say, 4.2. V-Chain rallies all the way up to about 20 trace, 2.3, getting a little sell-off, kind of just retesting the structure over here in the 21 EMA. Some of the stronger ones are pretty much looking exactly like this. Atom is struggling to get over those Man, see, stuff is just really struggling at all these resistance levels, and there's a lot of stuff in across the board in markets that's like that, not just crypto land. Osmos coming up to the top part of this wick on this candle, all the way up just shy of 80 cents. Obviously, you can see here lots of resistance over there. But the real test is, can we get a couple open and closes on a daily, just a daily, probably even like a 4 hour would do it, but definitely a daily. 69 cents is a big pivot point on Osmos. And of course it is. What else would it be? And this is just straight vertical. So I'm definitely not buying right up under major previous support, where we were talking about this back in May, early summer, that if we lose 69, it's time to go down, all the way down. That kind of sounds funny. Anyway, very vertical move here. This kind of was getting a little ahead of itself, and we've been very cautious of that. And it looks like, and not just Osmos, just across the board, we just got super vertical. So going sideways and doing some retests right now is actually mostly constructive for the chart. Let's see here. Ton still looks pretty decent, above about 210-ish. But really, it's just in this range between 210 and 260. And you can see it's ping-ponged in there for a long time. So overall, longer term, definitely still in a more bullish structure. But really need to clear that 260 area to get super bull boners going. Matic selling off all the way. Man, this bitch went right to almost $1. Obviously, there's major resistance at $1. But hey, it's just retesting to the 21 so far. And it does have a higher high too. So that's nice against June. And not quite this one here, which is also right up under $1. So 90-cent handle, tough to get through, and a little bit of rejection. But as long as we're riding these 21s on most of these, I'm not super concerned. And ES looks pretty good still, above 45. I mean, not overthinking it. As long as we're above 4,500, I mean, this is bullish. And look at this. This weekly is about to take out the magenta candle. So we are about to get that, unless we get a nasty sell-off in the next 4 hours. Very nice. Daily's got a little bit of resistance here at about 45.70. But man, getting continuation off of this very nice candle a couple of weeks ago, and we are getting follow through. So getting that mid, like about 45.5, probably gets some continuation and possibly testing new highs. Man, that would be pretty wild. And probably most people, I'm just plowing through it, man. Just refresh it when it does that. And I'm sorry, I pay way too much for this to be happening all the time, but it is what it is. I have no other choice for internet, I guess, besides Starlink. But I don't really hear great things about Starlink, so maybe it depends where you're at. I'm not sure. Anyway, this actually looks nice. I like that we took out this magenta candle over here, making some highs. Let's go to the weekly, so we're closing on that. Oh, yeah, weekly looks, unless we get a nasty sell-off, we're up here against the summer highs. So that's nice. Obviously, the all-time high is right here at about 16.5. And I mean, this looks really good. I mean, I know people are crazy thinking this shit should not be rallying, but it looks pretty phenomenal. Very nice chart. Ain't got no problems with this as long as we're above about 15.5. Looks very good. Nothing's really changed from yesterday. All right, very, very serious point of contention against this tweezer top, like we were talking about earlier in the week, but does look very good above about 34.7. As long as we're holding 34.7 on the shorter term, this is very constructive for the bulls. And if we go to the weekly, yeah, nice girthy candle closing up, or potentially closing up for the weekly. And then also macro, that's shorter term. Macro, as long as we're above about 34.2, looks pretty good. Russell is making a higher high, higher low structure from the late October little dump fest over here. Very nice. It does have this gnarly shooting star off of the horizontal, and this 200, which is confirming this 18, like the low 1800 handle as major resistance, which it has been formidable resistance and support opponent for many, many moons. You can go back in the history and look at why I have this drawn there. So, very serious resistance point. Again, like a lot of stuff, we're just right up underneath mega resistance. So, clearing 1830 would likely open the doors to 1900 as the next stop. But we're kind of just dancing around here, and shorter term support will be about 1760s roughly. The trannies are still looking real good here. They're pumping. If this closes above the 21 EMA, that's very, very sexy structure, closing above both of the moving averages in one swipe. We always like to see that for momentum. And as long as this is staying above about 14.7, looks pretty good. Obvious resistance at about 15.2. So bulls still got some work to do, no doubt. No diggity. Oh man, Dax. Wow, Dax is looking pretty sexy here. Let's go to the whoa, shit. This is beast mode candle off of this potentially looking real nasty right here. And the Bears got rejected pretty hard off this and closing above this whole green box, both EMAs and a horizontal in about 3.5 hours. That is actually very, very nice for the Bulls. And this could hold on, let's go to the monthly real fast. In 13 days. Wow, yeah. And if this continues to the end of the month and we close up here close to 16 or up, that is actually a very nice looking chart for the DAX. Interesting. So it's actually building a bullish, very bullish chart above 15.7. All right. Did not expect that from DAX. VIX obviously getting pummeled with the just no volatility, just rallying pretty hard. Like the Russell was up like 5% the other day. Pretty crazy. VVIX still not going into the 70s, though. Would like to see that if we're going to get super rallies. But I mean, hell, look at this 14. That's probably around the corner, man. VVIX being so low, we're getting sub 15 on VIX futures. Wowza. Nice. Oh, wow. I did not see that yesterday. Damn it. I would have totally bought that low. I was in the garage most of the days, car stuff, so I did not even notice that. Very nice defense of the lower end of the box at about 72, upper 72 handle. Let's go to the weekly. This entire weekly is actually pretty much stretched across that entire blue box, and it looks like it's going to print kind of a doji. That's pretty expected in this range as we go back and do a deep, deep retrace. But until it really clears back above 82, it's just back in the stupid range. But the only reason I say that this is a good range trade, when you're buying the bottom quarter of ranges, you can generally sell halfway or a lot of times in the top third. So, but yeah, this is an interesting bounce, just really confirming our range that we have drawn on here. So between 73 and pretty much just for real easy 83, that $10 range is where we're at. One Mogan. So, yay. More ranges. Isn't that cool? And no matter how you draw this, looks like it's going to be right around 618s. Yeah, 618. Barely tapped the 786. So, yeah, 73.83 is the range. Yay. Nat gas taking a little dump. Oh, this is a deeper retrace. I'm not going to really hold any positions substantially for next week. It's a short week. It's usually low volume and kind of boring. So, and plus, a lot of people out of town doing family stuff, whatever, all that good things for the holidays. But you could argue this is a perfect level for re-entry on this, especially the way the chart's been playing with an easy stop at this little swing low at about 290. So interesting on that. Nat Gas Futures is a very big contract, though, so that will tie up quite a bit of margin, and this bitch can move. So do be careful with that. There are products like UNG and Nat Gas stocks, but UNG is such a shit-ass product. I don't trade that one. It's just so terrible. It just goes down. The roll on it, the contango is just brutal. It's just a shit-ass product, kind of like USO. This is actually turning around. This is attempting to turn around. It's not confirmed yet, But this is the most bullish setup on the bonds that we've seen since all the way back over here in March. So that's definitely noteworthy. Now, is it still right up under this trend line, this kind of megaphone trend line? Yeah, it definitely is. So we're at formidable resistance. Shocker, like so many other things. And the weekly is still up there a little bit at 117 handle. But off the daily, this is the nicer setup that we've seen on bonds in like I said, in a while since March. So that's something to keep an eye on because if this starts flipping, let's go to TNX real quick, actually. Oh, look at this, filling this gap. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we definitely need to keep an eye on this next week. Very close eye, which we will be. Because if bonds start flipping around, will that mean that they might be pausing on the rate hikes or even cutting them? Because if they cut the rate hikes, dude, oh my God, the market would probably go absolute bonkers. And we might see another 5% rally in the rut and NASDAQ. That would be crazy. But yeah, we're definitely keeping an eye on those. And you can probably just look at rates if you want. This is interesting. It's already filling this gap. We start getting back above this little swing high at 469, of course. And the bottom of this gap. Look, there's gap here, double gaps. Then we could start looking for some nasty pressure again in the markets. But look at this, man. This is noteworthy. Just like the potential turnaround on the 10-year and the 30-year, TNX is showing the same thing as it is kind of pretty much the inverse. We are below comfortably now for 3 days, assuming it stays down here, below the 55 EMA, and that has not happened in the rate trend here since April. So definitely a little bit noteworthy. It's just range bound until it's not. You already know I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it until it breaks out of the 1900 handle. It's just ping pong mode. Silver, nice run for silver. Like that, needs to get over 24.20. Y'all know that's the level. And where do we rally today? 24.22. Got rejected immediately. So again, that 24.20 area being respected. One nice thing though about the weekly on silver, this actually looks pretty sexy on this close here. Assuming it closes up here above 23.50 on this candle, pretty damn good. I like that. This bitch is squeezing, man. Silver's gonna have a big ass move, I think, within the next year. It looks like it's compressing for a very large move. Hard to say the direction on there. I mean, weekly trend is mostly up off the 200, but we do have a little bit of spaghetti action, and the oscillators are all freaking neutral and funky flat spaghettied out too. So hard to really decipher this one as it's just ping pong very violently all over the place between, pretty much the mid lower 20s. But man, clearing that 24.20 again probably gets us to test up here. And then the real test is going to be about 25 and a half, 26. Platinum, what's platinum doing? Yeah, platinum's trying to rally here, but this is just lower lows, lower highs. I don't really care about it until it's back over 950. Palladium is just garbage below pretty much 1100. Don't care. Let's see. I mean, unless you want to short stuff, but all right, let's go to blockchain stuff. Let's go look at some miners. No, nothing really there. Nothing really there. Coinbase is trying to rally. Okay. Square, yeah, that's cool. Overstock's trying to just base out over here. All right. Let's go look at our miner index. It's just flagging up here, man. It still looks good above 520. 520. Lot again, though, right up against that major resistance. Maybe we do get a holiday breakout. That would be interesting. Losing 520, though, would be very nasty for crypto, methinks, if this were to break. Cores. Man, super squeezed cores. Again, I'm real surprised that... Let's get rid of this line. We don't need that line. I'm real surprised this didn't rally at all with crypto doing what it did. But, hey, it is what it is. And Sub 69 is not great. Really like to see it right around that 69 level. You can see it's been ping pong there for many, many days. And we're right on the 200, right below the 21, getting squeezed. This probably gets resolution by the end of the month, which we're kind of seeing on a lot of crypto charts too, not just this one. I'm very tempted to buy some of this. Maybe I'll nibble like a small position and hold it to next week in anticipation of a holiday rally, but definitely higher risk because this is lower highs for all the way back over here to July and lower lows. So technically, that is a downtrend on a daily, and the weekly doesn't really have any great trend either. Very neutral on the weekly. I mean, I guess you could maybe say it's slightly bullish on a weekly above like 54, but I don't know. When stuff's struggling to get over the 21, I can't get too excited about it. All right, where's the top traded? Is Microsoft still making new highs? Or is this going to be like a freaking mega double top fake out? I don't know. Above 360 looks great. Nvidia is the one that maybe is mega top out area. We got earnings next week, I believe. Yeah, on Tuesday. Man, this is going to send Nvidia flying either to 550 probably or all the way back down to like 450 or 420 even. So be mindful of that if you do have Nvidia. I think it's a little crazy to hold Nvidia up here. I mean, if you made good money on this, kudos to you. Nice freaking trade for sure. But this is an outlier. Not an outlier, but this is big momentum, and we have this rounded top kind of distribution look with this huge gap. This big gap is what concerns me the most. I mean, this is freaking $80 gap, man. And if the Bears, like, this will get filled someday. So, and that probably happens on any open and close below 400. I would be looking for that to get filled. And if they don't do real good on their earnings, maybe that's the catalyst. I'm not sure, but just banging up against these highs, I would not keep holding this. You can always rebuy when it breaks out. That's totally a good trade. You know, re-breaking blue sky or rebuying blue sky breakouts. I can talk sometimes, I guess. But as far as holding up here after this really good run, I mean, I don't know, man. This seems very risky to me, especially up against this 550 major resistance. Like, you know, hold for another 10% after you've probably done 50 to 200, maybe, depending where you bought this here. I don't know. Seems a little high risk to me, but hey, what do I know? I'm just some dude jackass on the interwebs. Disney, very nice move here. Disney is going to go unwoke apparently, and above 90 looks pretty good. Speaking of unwoke, let me share a funny picture with y'all. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go pull it from the archive because it's pretty hilarious. I'll just copy it and post it on here. Speaking of going woke, this is what reminded me of it. I made this little picture here. I thought it was pretty hilarious. I was just going into the stocks. I'm like, what? Playboy was publicly traded? I didn't even know that. But look at this. Playboy releases this cover here, literally, right here in October. They put a dude on the front of Playboy. That doesn't make any goddamn sense to me, but whatever. Look at that. And look what happened. Literally right after. You go woke. Y'all know the saying. Look at that shit, dude. And this, by the way, is at 20, upper 20s, around $30. And this says 47 cents, by the way. Yeah. That's like a shitcoin dump, dude. So that's pretty funny. I don't know. I'm just sharing that with a couple of my buddies this week. Got a good laugh. Kind of crazy. What the hell? Anyway, moving on. I think that's pretty much it for today. This is actually a really short one. There's just not much to really add to the market from Wednesday's video, or to the video from Wednesday's video. That's a lot of videos. What the hell? Let's see. Let's go maybe look for some sector majors, see what's going on over there. Regional banks, they're still flagging down here. Not flagging, sorry. They're still basing down here. I don't know what kind of pattern this is. It's just Chop Fest 3000 between like 39 and pretty much mid 40s. Nothing really there going on. Yeah, I mean, I don't see nothing standing out too much. Energy is kind of popping a little bit today. I mean, with energy up pretty good, or oil. One thing I did notice that was crazy is gas has been pretty cheap down here in Texas. And last night, out of nowhere, it popped like 30 or 40 cents at almost every gas station. That's a really big move for oil being low. Uh, I don't know what's going on with the oil and gas price divergent stuff, which actually we can do real quick. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'll set that chart up because I'm actually curious to see how that's been looking here. Gas prices. What did I use to do that? Except I have to learn how to spell, apparently. Oh, which one did I use? One. I think it was. Damn, I wish I would have just made a copy of that. Yeah, I think it was this one. Yeah, let's see here if we go to the daily. Maybe it was. Oh shit, sorry, I'm trying to kind of get it. Yeah, so we did have this divergence right here. You can see they're mostly together. And there's this huge divergence. I can't remember if I put this on stream or not. Because I was just like, wait, why is gas going down when oil's like trying to break out? And now look at this. It just keeps going down. Now oil's kind of caught up with it a little bit. That divergence is definitely um, tightened for sure. But just kind of interesting that, yeah, just overnight, like 30, 40 cents. That's a big jump. I mean, so down here, gas prices, that's a well over 10%. It's like a 15% jump overnight. It's the biggest one I've seen in a hot minute, and I pay attention to that a lot. And so I don't know. That's kind of interesting to me. It's like, why wasn't that happening when it was way up here? It was like literally kept going down, as y'all just saw in that chart. Very odd. Maybe we can drain the reserves even more or something. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, wrapping this up. Let's see. I don't think I had anything else we wanted to share. Maybe look at Planeteer real quick. I'm just curious. Oh, look, it's breaking out still. Man, what a freaking beast mode chart. Dude, Planeteer is so bullish above $18. Stupid bullish above $18. Oh man, these allergies down here are kicking my butt, dude. It's just been Seattle mode down here, raining all the time. But yeah, Planeteer, very nice chart. What else? Oh, DraftKings. Look at DraftKings. Well, don't look at them actually. What is it? Draft? I don't remember. I was close. Look at this shit, dude. All the way up, coming to the top of the box. $40 is mega resistance. Pretty nice move on DraftKings. I guess they're getting a lot of love, man. Flagging out here. Beautiful. This thing's bullish as hell, above $33. Would I buy up here? Definitely not. Not coming up right up against 40, but maybe on retraces. And I just brought this up too because in crypto land, I mentioned this earlier in the week or last week or something, that it's kind of interesting that almost 5% of their revenue on DraftKings was from NFTs. Let that sink in for a little bit. 5% of their entire bottom line revenue was from NFTs. That is pretty freaking wild, man. And if other companies keep implementing this, because it's not like a whole lot to like launch some NFTs, most of the infrastructure is already there. You just have to pick your cool JPEG or whatever. But yeah, pretty interesting that 5% already. I don't know. Does that get mimicked across the board at other companies? Very well could be. Very well could be. Places like Mattel and Funko and what's other big one that's kind of doing it? Oh yeah, Nike. My buddy actually he got on the list for the first shoe that was from an NFT. So he has like a physical actual shoe from Nike. Pretty cool, man. I don't know. Pretty interesting though, when something like that can boost revenue that much for pretty minimal effort. Yeah, but I digress a little bit. Let's see what else here. I think that's probably it. What are weed stocks doing? Yeah, they're just kind of floating here. This is interesting. You could argue a little false breakdown here off of this little dippity doodah. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, the weekly still looks like trash garbage, but if this starts picking up again and gets over 330, this could be getting ready for a little moony moonshot right there. Let's go look at a couple other ones. Oh, that's nice. I hold this one, so I got a little green thumb I bought, in some of this retrace here. So that's nice. It's up a good amount today, 7%. I really think there's going to be a weed play, man. Like we talked about a couple of weeks ago or months ago or whatever the hell it was. This is one of the bigger moves that we've seen in reefer land in a really long time. And why am I not? There we go. How did I get out of log? I was like, my chart does not look right. Yeah, charting a log. That's how the pros do it. Anyway, um, yeah, Canopy is fairly good above 50 cents, man. I think it's a pretty low risk, very defined risk entry here. We did this mega pump on the HHS, the Human Health Services, said it needs to be rescheduled or addressed or whatever. And so that's a big deal. It's the first time, someone from the government said and acknowledged that from a high position. So now he just came back, gave all that hype up. Of course, not surprisingly, totally expected that because the sellers want to dump everything in weed land like immediately on any pumps. It seems like for the last 2-3 years. But again, this is one of the more constructive pumps and bases that we've seen in quite a while. So as long as it holds about 50 cents, again, that's about 10% from where we are now. This could be building up to something. That's something I'll be watching. And, with the election coming up next year, I could see the Democrats or something doing something to get a little bit of clout, garnish some clout or attention about how badass this is and weed and blah, blah, blah. You know how politicians be doing it. All right, I think that's it, y'all. Bitcoin, watch out. Not my favorite candle. It's not as bad as Ethereum's because it did not technically engulf it. If we jump over to Ethereum real quick, and Ethereum did engulf it right at a really serious resistance area. Now we're below it, so that's a little bit concerning, but not enough for me to really care about it until it's for another, few days or we get some more and more testing. And the horizontals are easy, man. Same as yesterday. Nothing's really changed off that. 35K, 38K short term, 32K long term. And then Ethereum, Unicorn Man, pretty much about 18. Really just like 19 flat. If it lost like 19, we'd probably come and test, lower 18 handles, lower 18 handle. And really needs to stay above freaking 2,000, man. And probably needs a weekly open and close for that to get me real excited for the Bulls. We get that, we probably go to 2,400 real easy, a weekly open and close, that is. And everything else is just still kind of lollygagging. Doge doing a little bit of a dance today, so that's kind of nice. I know everyone loves Doge, myself included. So, yeah, just kind of dancing at the top end of ranges after these rallies, doing a little small liquidation break. That kind of seems to be the theme of most of these charts, which is totally acceptable. This is kind of what we were wanting to see from, last week's videos too, and earlier this week. We don't want to just go straight up, man. That's not healthy and that's not sustainable. So, these are actually pretty constructive retracements as of now. Only if they keep pulling back a little bit more, then we start having to questioning the strength of this move, and then we just get back into the range. So we don't want to get back into the range. Bulls need to defend the upper part of said range to make this and continue making this look very sexy time. And what are we seeing on GBDC? Almost losing momentum, very close. I guess technically we might lose it today. Off of 26, like losing the power zone. But I mean, it's like barely. This is like close enough to me, and it's only one day. So next week probably won't be much going on just because it's a holiday week. But hey, you never know. We'll be here anyway talking about it. So I'll see y'all on Monday. Have an awesome weekend. This has been No Noiz. I am Z Rex. Peace.